Hello everyone, my name is Mohammad Abdul Rahman and today we are solving the mock exam of grade 9 which is a 40 marks exam, and this is the pattern of the mock exam. I suggest that you have to watch this full video and solve the questions related with these topics. Okay, so we have to move apart. So the first multiple choice question is the unit of torque is same as the unit of what? Okay, so we have four options. The first one is force, the second one is works, third one is density, and the fourth one is power. Okay, the first thing you have to know about the unit of torque is actually Newton meter. Okay, but if I'm looking about the unit of force, it is Newton. So it's mean that this is wrong. If I'm looking about the unit of density and it is kilogram per meter cube, it's mean that this option is also wrong. If I'm looking about the unit of power, so the unit of power is actually watt, okay, or joule per second. So it's mean that this is also wrong. But if we are looking for the unit of work, it is actually Newton meter. So look at this, that the unit of torque is actually Newton meter and the unit of work is also Newton meter. So your correct answer is okay. Now we have to move apart for the next multiple choice question, and the question is the speed time graph. All right, this is actually the distance time graph, not a speed time graph. It's a mistake for the paper. And that is, so we have a speed time graph over here, and he's asking you this graph represent which. All right, are they accelerating? They are moving with constant speed. Is there a at rest? So they are talking about this. Okay, the first thing is this is a distance time graph. Okay, so look at this graph. So we have the time along x component and the distance along y component. So if I'm talking about that, it is if this graph is at rest, if it's show it at rest, so they are moving like this. If it is a straight line which is parallel to the time axis, so it's mean that this is the rest graph. And if this graph is like this straight line, so it's mean that they are moving with constant speed. Okay, but here in this case they are moving in upward direction. So upward direction mean that this graph is actually accelerating. So this graph is actually accelerating. So your right answer is the object is accelerating. So this is your right option to this question. If it is decelerating, remember, if it is decelerating, this graph is moved like this. So it's mean that this graph is decelerating, but it is moving in upward direction. So it's mean that this is accelerating. So your right answer is this. All right. If it is at rest, they are moving like this, straight line, right, parallel to the time axis. So it's mean that this is at rest. So now we have to move further. Question number 3, define equilibrium. Okay, so we have to define what is the definition of equilibrium. And the second is we have to define the speed. Remember one thing in your exam, the third question is a definition type question. So you have to know the definitions, all right? Not only this one, maybe they are talking about something else like speed, velocity, acceleration. So you have to know about it. So here the question is define equilibrium. So what is the definition of equilibrium? So the definition of equilibrium is the sum of all the forces acted on a body on a body is equal to 0. On a body is equal to 0. What does this mean? For example, if we have a box just placed on the surface of Earth, and if we apply the force of 10 Newton from the left hand and 10 Newton from the right hand, it's mean that this box is at rest. So it's mean that this box is actually in equilibrium position, all right? Or, so the example of this equilibrium is a body is at rest or moving with constant velocity. Constant velocity. So if the body is moving with constant velocity, so it's mean that this is in the form of equilibrium. But the second definition is speed. What is the definition of speed? This is a simple definition. The distance covered by a body, the distance covered by a body, per unit time is called speed, okay? So this is the definition of speed. So it will be represented with that V is equal to distance per unit time. So this is here D is the distance. Sometimes they are represented with X, sometimes they are represented with S. It depends on you. But here I represented with D. So V is equal to D divided by T. Here D is a distance and T is a time. If I'm asking you what is the unit of speed, obviously we see that the unit of distance is meter and the distance of time is second. So meter per second is the unit of speed, okay? So now we have to move apart with the next question. And the next question is, yes, this is a little bit difficult question. So you have to understand how to solve this type of question, okay? So the question is, whenever the question comes, the first important thing, you have to collect the data from the question. And after this, you have to solve the numerical problem, okay? So the question is here is that an electron revolve around the nucleus. We have an electron which revolves around the nucleus, okay? And with the speed of 2.6 into 10 power 6 meter per second. So he is giving you the speed. So here the speed is 2.6 into 10 power 6 meter per second. So we just highlight the speed, that the first thing which is given, and that is speed. The radius of electron is 1 nanometer. So the second thing is they are giving you about the radius. They are not giving you the distance. All right. So they are giving you the radius. So remember one thing here, radius is 1 nanometer. You have to know about what is the value of nano. The first thing is you have to convert nanometer into meter. How to convert nanometer into meter? So R is equal to 1 multiplied by 10 power minus 9 meter. So this is the value of R which is given, okay? And the second thing is speed. Speed is given, so we have put the value. So V is equal to 2.6 into 10 power 6 meter per second. So the value of speed is also given. Now tell me what they are talking about. They are talking about find the time. So we have to find the value of time, that how much time it takes the electron to revolve around the nucleus. Now look at this picture. This picture is just like this, that we have a central part nucleus, which is positive charge, and the electron, which is revolve around the nucleus. And obviously we know that this electron revolve in a circular path. So in circular path, the diameter of this electron, this circular path is actually, distance is actually 2 pi r. All right. And we know the value of R, which is 1 multiplied by 10 power minus 9. Okay. So we know about the diameter. Now we know about the velocity and we have to find the time. So how we can find out the value of time? We know that speed is equal to distance per unit time. Distance per unit time. Just put the values. All right. So we have to find this time. So time is equal to distance divided by speed. Just put the value and you can get the answer. Here the distance is 2 pi r. So time t is equal to 2 pi r divided by V. So put the values. So 2 multiplied by what is the value of pi? It's 3.14. Remember, it is always constant. And what is the value of R? And the value of R is 1 multiplied by 10 power minus 9 divided by what is the value of speed? And that is 2.6 into 10 power 6. Just rearrange and we can solve it by using calculator. You can get the value of t, which is in the form of second. Okay. So this is the method that you have to find the time related with this question. Okay. Now we have to move further and solve the next question. All right, this is a little bit difficult one. So you have to understand this, how to solve this type of questions. Okay. So the question is given. Wait a minute, I just remove this thing. So we have a lot of space over there to solve this question. Okay. All right. This question is about the sphere. Okay. So he's talking about the sphere and we have to find the density. Okay. So the question is the metal wire, it's not wire, it's a sphere, sorry, of length, not length, has a circular cross-sectional diameter. So it's mean that the diameter of the wire is given. We know that the diameter is actually like this. This is my diameter. Okay. The volume is given. The formula of volume is given. V is equal to 4 by divided by 3 pi r cube. This is the formula of volume. He says that we have the diameter. So diameter is given, which is d is equal to 0.85 millimeter. And he said that we have a mass, which is 0.225 gram. He's asking you to find the density. How we can find the density? So remember one thing, whenever you solve this type of question, so the first thing is you have to convert units, okay? So remember one thing, that here the formula of density is actually mass per unit volume, okay? If we know the value, obviously we know the value of mass, which is 0.225 gram. And now we know the value of volume. You can easily find out this value, okay? So first thing is how to find the value of volume. To solve this thing, we know that the diameter is 0.85 millimeter. The first thing is you have to convert millimeter into centimeter. How to convert millimeter into centimeter? So we just do this, that D is equal to 0.85 is actually millimeter. Now we have to convert. So how to convert? We just divide it by 10. So D is equal to 0.85 divided by 10 centimeter, which is equal to 0.085 centimeter. So here our diameter is 0.085 centimeter. Okay, so the first thing, the diameter is now given. Now the second thing is we have to find the radius, because remember one thing, in this formula we have to know about the radius. So how we can find out the radius? So we know that R is equal to D divided by 2. And the value of D is actually 0.085 and the value divided by 2. So if I solve this value, we can get the answer, that is 0.085 divided by 2. Just wait a minute. 0.085 divided by 2 is equal to 0.045. 0.0425 centimeter. So here radius is given 0.0425 centimeter. Okay. Now we know about the radius. Now we have to find the volume. How we can find the volume? So here volume is equal to 4 multiplied by what is the value of pi? 3.14 multiplied by what is the value of R, which is equal to 0.0425, and we have this cube because R is in the form of cube, divided by 3. Okay. Now just put the value and we will get the answer. For the first, whenever you solve this question, the first thing is you have to solve the cube. When you solve the cube, you can easily get the answer. Okay. So 4 multiplied by 3.1. 4 multiplied by what is the value of cube? So just wait. I just find out this. Multiply by 0.045 multiply by 0.045, which is equal to 0.00086, which is equal to 0.000 4086 okay, divided by 3. Okay, now we have to find the volume, and if you find out this thing, multiply by 3.14 multiply by 4, which is equal to divided by 3. So the volume is here 0.0003. So volume is 0.00036 centimeter cube, because remember one thing, our answer is in the form of centimeter cube. Okay. Now the last thing is we have to find the density. So how to find the density? We know that density is mass per unit volume. Just put the values and you can get the answer. Here mass is 0.225 gram and volume is 0.00036. So what is the value of this? So 0.225 divided by 0.00036, which is approximately equal to 625, which is approximately equal to 625 gram per centimeter cube. Okay, so this is the answer. Now, if I'm asking you, so okay, the first thing is the density is 625 gram per centimeter cube. Now, if I'm asking you to give the answer in the form of kilogram per meter cube, what should we do? We just multiply by 1000. If I'm giving the answer of in the kilogram, so density is equal to 625 multiplied by 1000 kilogram per meter cube. So density here is 625,000 kilogram per meter cube. So this is the equation and this is the solution of density in the form of kilogram per meter cube. And the first one is the solution of density in the form of gram per centimeter cube. So you have to know about it, how to convert kilogram and how to convert it gram. Okay. So this is the very important thing by solving this type of questions. Okay. Now we have to move apart and solve the next question. Yes, exactly. Look at this. Your answer is in the form of gram per centimeter cube and in the form of kilogram per meter cube. So this is the method that you have to solve the questions. Okay. But before that, I just remove all these things. So now move apart and let's see what happened. What's the next question? I hope so. It's good one. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Good. I just remove this thing. It will take some time to removing all these things. Okay. Now the next question is, okay. So the next question here is, yes, this is a little bit difficult one. So this is actually the distance time graph and he is asking you what to actually want to solve this thing. Okay. So the question here is the graph show between distance time graph. Okay. So they are talking about the distance time graph of a woman running a mountain marathon. Okay. The first thing is what is her average speed at point D to E? The first thing is we have to locate the point. So this is my D and this is my E. we have to find the average speed. We know that the formula of speed is V is equal to distance per unit time. If I know the distance, if I know the time, we can find out the average speed. Okay. So remember one thing, this is my 10, 20, this is my 25. So the value here is 25, 30, and this one is 35. Okay. So the distance from E to D is 35 minus 25, which is equal to 10. So 35 minus 25 is equal to 10. Okay. 10 in the form of kilometer. Okay. So so distance is now 10 kilometer. What about the time? So here we see that at point E, the time is 6 p.m. And this time is actually in between 6 and 5. So from time, here is approximately 30 minutes. So 30 minutes is actually 0.5 hour. So my velocity is, distance is 10 kilometer, and my time is 0.5 hour. So speed is 20 kilometer per hour. Okay. So this is the speed at point D to E. Okay. So this is the first one. And the second one is, if there is no stop, find the average speed between A to G. If there is no stop, this one is a tricky one. All right. The first thing is we have to know about it, how many stops were there. Okay. So obviously the formula is same. So look at this. This from C to D, we have one stop, and E to D, we have the second stop. The first thing is we have to find the speed, sorry, distance. So from point A to G, this is my point A, this is my point G, and here we have to find the distance. So total distance is 40 minus 0, which is equal to 40 kilometer. Okay. Now we have to find the time. How much times were there? Okay. So remember one thing, our final time is 9 p.m. Initial time is 1 p.m. So what is the difference between 9 to 1? So it's mean that 9 minus 1 is actually 8 hour. If the stop is included, it is 8 hour. But if we remove, if no stop is here, if no stop. So remember one thing, from E to F, we have 1 hour stop. So we have to remove 1 hour from here. So it will be equal to 7 hours. All right. And 30 minutes is here from C to D. Okay. So we have to remove 0.5 hours. So total time is now 6.5 hour. Now we have to find the speed. So the speed is V is equal to distance per unit time. So distance is actually 40 kilometer and time is actually 6.5 hour. So 40 divided by 6.5 is actually 40 divided by 6.5. Just divide. Okay, wait. 40 divided by 6.5, 6.15 kilometer per hour. So average speed is 6.15 kilometer per hour. Okay, so this is the method that you have to find the average speed from this point. Okay, so you have to know about it. Okay, now we have to move apart, but before that, I just remove all these things. Okay, so move here. Okay. Just 1 minute, please. Okay, all right. Now, move. Question number 7. Question number 7 is this one. All right, the question number 7 is just a multiple choice question. So look at this, it's a simple one, I think. The question is, the mass of the object is 100 kg. So mass is 100 kg. And the volume is 25 meter cube. So volume is 25 meter cube. Find the density. So we know that density is equal to mass per unit volume. So mass is 100 and volume is 25, which is equal to 4 kilogram per meter cube. So the answer here is this one, 4 kilogram per meter cube. Okay. Question number 8, the moment of force. Remember one thing, moment of force and torque were same. Okay. So the moment of force, it's mean that T is equal to 12 Newton meter. Okay. And the perpendicular distance from the ridge is 25 centimeter. So distance R is equal to 2.5 centimeter. The first thing we have to convert centimeter into meter. So we have to divide it by 100. So R is equal to 0.025 meter. Calculate force. Okay. So we have to find the force over here. So what is the formula? So T is equal to R multiplied by F. So F is equal to T divided by R. So F is equal to what is the value of T? It's 12 and 0.025. And you can get the answer. That is 12 divided by 0.025, which is 480. So the answer is 480 Newton. Okay. So this is the method that you can solve the answers. Okay. Now we have to move question number 9. But before that, I just remove all these things. So you have to better understand these questions. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, just remember this thing. So question number 9. Okay, question number 9 is the simplest one that they are talking about the slope of the distance time graph. So remember one thing when they are asking about the slope. So the slope is actually uh, along y component and x component. Okay, for example, this is my graph. And if this graph is moving like this, and I'm asking you to find the slope. So we just say that this is along y component and this is my x component. Okay, so distance is my y component and time is my x component. So slope is equal to distance divided by time. And distance per unit time is actually speed, not acceleration, not displacement, not velocity time relation. It's actually speed. So the right answer is 9. Okay. B. Okay. So let's move apart and solve the other numerical problems related with this. Okay. Okay. Question number 10. Yes, this is a little bit difficult one, so you have to know about it and how to solve this type of questions. Okay. So the question here is the position time graph. Draw the position time graph. How you can draw the position time graph. Okay. So remember one thing, always we take x component is time. So time always in the form of x component. So just write down here time. So this is my time. And y component is always distance. All right. So we have a distance along y component. The first important thing, we have to draw the point. So first of all, we have to draw the points of time. Just, okay, this is my time 0. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this is my time axis. And what about the position? So just write down this. This is, for example, 5 centimeter, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40. Okay, just something like this. Okay, you can take your any position if you want. Okay, no problem for this. Now the second thing is, if time is 0, position is 0. So time is 0, position is 0. So this is my first point. Time is 1, position is 2. So here my time, it is 1, So here my position, which is equal to, so this is my second. Time is 2, position is 4. Time is 2, position is 4. So I just point out this thing. Time is 3, position is 7. Time is 3, position is 5, 6, 7. So this is my third. Time is 4, position is 10. Time is 4, position is 10, like this. Time is 5, position 14. Time 5, position 14. Though for 14 is approximately this one. Time is 6, position 18. Time 6, position 18, like this. Time 7, position 22. So time 7, position 22, like this. Time 8, position 26. Time 8, position 26 is like this. And time 9, position 30. Time 9, position 30. And time 10, position 34. Time 10 and position is 34. Okay, something like this. Now we have to draw the graph. Just simply we just connect these points and we can easily draw this. Okay, so this is the first thing that you have to know about it. This is a 2 marks question. If you draw the graph like this, you will. All right. So this is the main important thing, that how to draw the graph like this. Okay. The first thing is you have to draw the graph initially before. Okay. We don't have now again. We don't need to draw this again. Now the second thing is find the initial and final velocity. Okay. Find initial and final velocity. Obviously, we know that V initial velocity is equal to change in distance divided by change in time. So here our distance is, initial distance is 0 and final distance is 1. So for initial velocity, we take these 2 points. And for final velocity, we take these 2 points. Okay. So change in distance is 2 minus 0. 2 minus 0. And change in time is 1 minus 0. So 1 minus 0. So initial velocity is 2 centimeter per second. Remember one thing, your answer is in the form of centimeter because your distance is in the form of centimeter. Okay. Now we have to find the final velocity. How to find the final velocity? So our final velocity is V final is equal to 10 minus 9. So 10 minus 9 and sorry 34 minus 10, sorry, my mistake. It's 34 minus 30. So because distance is here, 34 minus 30 divided by 10 minus 9, which is equal to 4 divided by 1, which is equal to 4 meter per second. Okay. So remember one thing, our initial velocity is 2 centimeter per second and the final velocity is 4 meter per second. So it's mean that this graph is accelerating.